Florida State got a big addition today from Kentucky transfer Cam'Ron Fletcher, former top 60 recruit, heads to Florida State next season. And it's, a top 10 team in my eyes right now. Before this, they were 6 in my rankings. You had Caleb Mills, the transfer from Houston, AAC preseason player of the year, only played a few games due to an ankle injury and then transferred out. You return Anthony Polite. You add Matthew Cleveland, a top 15 recruit in this class. He's going to be a lottery pick in 2022. Tenora Ngam returns for his extra year of eligibility. You're likely losing Balsico Perviza, but you also had Naheem McLeod, the JUCO transfer from Chipola Community College. He plays in the Final Four of the JUCO tournament tonight against Coffeyville Community College. So that's a 7'3" guy you're adding into the fold there with McLeod. And Fletcher fits exactly what Leonard Hamilton wants to do. A 6'6", 180-pound wing with high-level athleticism. He's a really good defender, and he's going to be able to defend pretty much any position on the floor due to his size and athleticism combination. He's not there as a shooter yet. We didn't see much of it this season, but in high school he wasn't much of a shooter either. He only played a few games for Kentucky, was sent home before the Christmas break due to small complaining on the bench because of playing time, was sent home and then returned to the team before transferring at the end of the season. It was a rough season for Kentucky as a whole, just nothing meshed this season, and Fletcher just never got a ton of playing time. And we've seen guys that transfer out of Kentucky have some success at times. You look at Johnny Juzang transferring from Kentucky to UCLA. It turned out to be the best player in the NCAA tournament this past season, now is likely to be a first-round draft pick. That's the one that really stands out to me. I mean, you can look at Kyle Wilcher transferring from Kentucky to Gonzaga a number of years ago, but sometimes you just don't go to the right spot out of the gate, and then you go to find a spot that feels better, and Fletcher fits exactly what Florida State's going to want to do next season. It's a really deep team like usual. They're going to play 11 to 12 deep every single game. And Fletcher, I'm not sure if he's going to start out of the gate, but even guys that play off the bench have first-round pick capabilities. You look at Pat Williams. He was the 4th overall pick by the Bulls last year. He didn't start any games for Florida State. Fiondu Kabengele, he didn't start any games his final season at Florida State, and he ended up being a first-round pick to the Clippers a few seasons ago. I think Fletcher's going to play a pretty big role, and the starting 5 in my eyes right now would probably look something like Caleb Mills at the 1, Matthew Cleveland at the 2. At the 3, you're probably going to have to go Anthony Polite. And then at the 4, that's kind of where things look interesting, because that's where you had Raekwon Gray play last season. He is moving on to the next level. He's a projected second-round draft pick, and that's going to be probably the biggest loss to overcome, even though Scotty Barnes played a big role. MJ Walker was really good. I think there's unlimited value on a guy like Raekwon Gray who can defend anybody on the floor, and he just plays super hard. That could be where you see Fletcher fit into the 4 spot, and then you put Tenora Ngam or Naheem McLeod at the 5. I think that's most likely where you're going to see Fletcher play from the start. He's more of a wing, but that size and athleticism really allows him to be versatile and play the 4 if needed. So that's part of the reason why this ad makes a ton of sense for Florida State. He was recruited by a few other power conference schools, but as soon as I saw that Florida State was in the mix for Cam'Ron Fletcher, I kind of figured that would be the ultimate landing spot for the former top 60 recruit, because it's a perfect fit. There's not many fits where you can look at it on the surface and be like, that's, a match made in heaven, but Leonard Hamilton has his type. If you're a long athletic wing, odds are Leonard Hamilton's going to be into you, and that's exactly what happened this time. He went with Cam'Ron Fletcher. He's going to come into the fold next season for the Seminoles, and they're going to be a top 10 team in the preseason, as they should be, likely the ACC favorites. They're not going to move up in my rankings yet. They're going to stay 6 for now, because I just don't think this is a move it's not going to be a needle-pushing move that'll put them over Michigan in my rankings, but they're pretty close. I mean, they're as close as it gets. I have Alabama at 4. It's not going to move the needle, but it's a good enough move to where it's notable to talk about, because it's Florida State and it's a former top 60 recruit. We've seen transfers go to Florida State in the past and do a really good job, and I expect this to follow suit. So definitely, thanks for checking the video out. Until next time, see you.